देवामुपतिं वन्दे सुरगुरुं वन्दे भक्तजनश्रयं च वरदं वन्दे श्री अरविन्दम् ॐ देवेन्द्र मूलिमन्दारमकरन्द कणारुणः विघ्नं हरन्तु मीराचरणम्बुजरे नमः शरणं शरणं मीरा शरणं 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 मीरा शरणं.
At the very bottom of the unconscious, most hard and rigid and narrow and stifling, I struck upon an almighty spring that cast me up forthwith into a formless, limitless vast, vibrating with the seeds of a new world.
The hour of God. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, there are moments when the Spirit moves among men and the breath of the Lord is abroad upon the waters of our being. There are others when it retires and men are left to act in the strength or the weakness of their own egoism. The first are periods when even a little effort produces great results and changes destiny. The second are spaces of time when much labor goes to the making of a little result. It is true that the later may prepare the former, maybe the little smoke of sacrifice going up to heaven, which calls down the rain of God's bounty. Unhappy is the man, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo, unhappy is the man or the nation which, when the divine moment arrives, is found sleeping or unprepared to use it because the lamp has not been kept trimmed for the welcome and the ears are sealed to the call. But thrice woe to them who are strong and ready, yet waste the force or misuse the moment. For them is irreparable loss or a great destruction. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, in the hour of God, cleanse thy soul of all self-deceit and hypocrisy and vain self-flattering, that thou mayst look straight into thy spirit and hear that which summons it. All insincerity of nature, once thy defense against the eye of the Master and the light of the ideal, becomes now a gap in thy armor and invites the blow. Even if thou conquer for the moment, it is the worse for thee, for the blow shall come afterwards and cast thee down in the midst of thy triumph. But being pure, cast aside all fear, for the hour is often terrible, a fire and a whirlwind and a tempest, a treading of the winepress of the wrath of God. But he who can stand up in it on the truth of his purpose is he who shall stand. Even though he fall, he shall rise again. Even though he seems to pass on the wings of the wind, he shall return. Nor Let worldly prudence whisper too closely in thy ear, for it is the hour of the unexpected, the incalculable, the immeasurable. Make not the power of the breath by thy petty instruments, but trust and go forward. Trust and go forward, but most keep thy soul clear, even if for a while, of the clamor of the ego. Then shall a fire march before thee in the night, and the storm be thy helper, and thy flag shall wave on the highest height of the greatness that was to be conquered, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo. From the Collected Works of Sri Aurobindo, Volume 12, page 146. Our Divine Mother says, we are at one of these hours of God when the old basis gets shaken and there is a great confusion. But it is a wonderful opportunity for those who want to leap forward. The possibility of progress is exceptional. Will you not be of those who take advantage of this? From the Collected Works of Divine Mother, Volume 12, page 279. Next topic, the struggle, conflict of forces and the solution. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, our Divine Mother says, one thing seems obvious. Humanity has reached a certain state of general tension and effort, inaction, even in daily life, with such an excessive hyperactivity, so widespread a trepidation that mankind as a whole seems to have come to a point where it must either break through the resistance and emerge into a new consciousness, or else fall back into an abyss of darkness and inertia. Our Divine Mother says this tension is so complete, so widespread that something obviously has to break. It cannot go on in this way. We may take it as a sure sign of the infusion into matter of a new principle of force, consciousness, power, which by its very pressure is producing this acute state. Outwardly, we could expect the old methods used by nature when she wants to bring up an upheaval. But there is a new characteristic, which is, of course, is only visible in an elite, but even this elite is fairly widespread. It is not localized at one point, at one place in the world. We find traces of it in all countries all over the world. The will to find a new, higher, progressive solution and effort to rise towards a vaster, more comprehensive perfection. Our Divine Mother says certain ideas of a more general nature, of a wide, perhaps more collective kind, are being worked out and are acting in the world. And both things go together. A possibility of a greater and more total destruction, a reckless inventiveness which increases the possibility of a catastrophe which would be on a far greater scale than it has ever been, and at the same time the birth, or rather the manifestation, of much higher and more comprehensive ideas and acts of will, which, when they are heard, will bring a wider, vaster, more complete, more perfect remedy than before. Our Divine Mother says this struggle, this conflict between the constructive forces of the ascending evolution of a more and more perfect and divine realization, and the more and more destructive, powerfully destructive forces that are mad beyond all control, is more and more obvious, marked, visible, and it is a kind of race or struggle as to which will reach the goal first. It would seem that all the adverse and anti-divine forces, forces of the vital word, have descended on earth, are making use of it as their field of action, and at the same time, a new, higher, more powerful spiritual force has also descended on earth to bring it a new life. This makes the struggle more acute, more violent, more visible, but it seems also more definitive, and that is why we can hope to reach an early solution. Our Divine Mother says something has happened in the world's history which allows us to hope that a selected few in humanity, a small number of beings, perhaps are ready to be transformed into pure gold, and they will be able to manifest strength without violence, heroism without destruction, and courage without catastrophe. Our Divine Mother says, Sri Aurobindo gives the answer. If man could once consent to be spiritualized, if only the individual consent to be spiritualized could consent, something in him asks for it, aspires, and all the rest refuses, wants to continue to be what it is, the mixed one which needs to be cast into the furnace, the mixed ore which needs to be cast into the furnace, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo. At the moment, we are at a decisive turning point in the history of earth once again. From every side, I am asked, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? Everywhere, there is anguish, expectation, fear. What is going to happen? There is only one reply, says our Divine Mother. If only man could consent to be spiritualized, as our Lord Sri Aurobindo says. And perhaps it would be enough if some individuals become pure gold, for this would be enough to change the course of events. We are faced with this necessity in a very urgent way. This courage, this heroism, which the Divine wants of us, why not use it to fight against one's own difficulties, one's own imperfections, one's own obscurities? Why not heroically face the furnace of inner purification so that it does not become necessary to pass once more through one of those terrible, gigantic destructions which plunge an entire civilization into darkness? Our Divine Mother says this is the problem before us. It is for each one to solve it in his own way. This evening, I am answering the questions I have been asked, and my reply is that of Sri Aurobindo. If man could once consent to be spiritualized, and I add, says our Divine Mother, and I add, time presses from the human point of view. These are the words of our Divine Mother from the Collective Works of our Divine Mother, Volume 9, page 296.